Hello, Catherine here, and for this video I will be talking about flirting, or more specifically, how bad I am at flirting. And I don't want you to get the idea by watching this that a lot of people flirt with me. That's not the case. That's totally not the case. But when they do, most of the time it turns awkward because of me.
Please hang up and try again.
Did you know that sometimes when people want to date you, they ask you what you like doing? I did not know that. So for many years, up until last year, I'm 24 now, so I think it was until I was 23, whenever a guy would ask me that, I would say what I enjoy doing, which is reading and writing. But see, the thing is, not a lot of people like to go on dates in which both people just read and write alone, separately, because those are things that you do alone. So, I mean, I would love to just be like, hey, yeah, you want to go on a reading date? You sit over there, I sit over here, we both read. Maybe we can discuss the book, both books. We can have a book club. I don't want to date. I think I just want to be in a book club. I was at this country bar, which is not my scene. Actually, bars are in general just not my scene, but country bars especially are not my scene. So we were there, we were dancing. I don't know how to dance, and I especially don't know how to dance to country music. And so we're there on the dance floor, and this guy behind me says, Marco. I turned around and said Polo, because instead of thinking that this guy was saying his name was Marco, I thought he was playing some sort of Marco Polo game on the dance floor at the country bar. Turns out he was not, and that was the end of the conversation, and I went on badly dancing. This was in college. This was like 4 years ago. So I was running, and it was really hot out, and I saw this guy that I liked, and of course he saw me too, which, perfect. I thought that I would just be able to not see him because I'm just dripping with sweat. Of course he sees me. So I go up to him, we talk a little bit, again, like sweat, and like I have to like bring up my shirt and like wipe it off my eye. Gross. So I go back to my dorm. I lived in a dorm at that time, and one of my roommates and like one of my best friends, she said, I talked to her about that, and she reasoned, and she's such a good friend. She said, well, some guys really like that, like when you're really sweaty. And I just, like, to this day, I'm just like, she's such a great friend. But that's so, like, is that true? Comment below. I don't think it's true. If you're like pouring, just dripping with sweat, I mean, maybe, I mean, I guess it's whatever floats your boat, but I just can't imagine someone being like, yeah, sweaty people, that's my thing. But who knows? There's a thing for everyone, fetish for everyone. That should be a slogan for some store. I'm a journalist, I was going to assignments, and I ended up having to take a turn in order to pull into a driveway to back up and park. And so I'm doing that, and I see this car with this guy in it, and he keeps staring at me. Well, I think, as I think when anyone is looking at me while I'm driving, is that, oh shoot, I'm doing something wrong. And so I'm freaking out. He drives by, whatever. I turn around in the driveway, start trying to get back to the area in which I can park. And as I'm doing that, he drives up again. And so we essentially reverse positions. And again, he keeps looking at me, and I hear him say something. My window's rolled up. I hear him say something. It sounds like something like back. And so I think my hazard lights had been messing up like just a couple days before this happened. So I think, oh shoot, something's wrong with my car. And so I roll down my window and I go, what did you say? And he goes, girl, I want to get at ya. And I'm thinking, this guy is probably not saying, girl, I want to get at ya and help you fix your car. And so at that point I realized this is probably not gonna go the way that I really wanted to. So I tell him, sorry, like I have to go somewhere, I'm in a hurry. And he goes, where are you going? And I say, I'm going to a church, which I was. And he goes, oh good, well my mama always said I should get a church girl. And I just drove off. And the final story is not actually my story, but it is a flirting story. So my grandmother, who is no longer with us, she was the best flirt that I have ever known, like ever known throughout her life. Like, I mean, she died when she was like in her 70s, and up until she was essentially like in the hospital, like about to pass away, she was a flirt. I can remember one summer, she probably was like, again, like in her 70s, like probably early 70s. She's sitting out on our front yard, and these construction workers who are like 50 years her junior are working on the street outside of our home. And I can remember her flirting with them. And the thing is, like, they flirted back. So she's like 70-year-old flirting with 20-year-olds. And I'm just looking at her like, man, that is not hereditary at all.